Adya, is it possible for you to speak also? Adya,
Yes, sir.
is it possible for you to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please speak along with it.
The Dolphins by Carol Ann Duffy. Theme of the poem. The poem, The Dolphin, gives the readers a glimpse of Carol Ann Duffy's liberal mind, unfettered sense of personal freedom, and universal love that includes the love for animals. Here in this poem, we have been clearly shown the pain and anguish the dolphin has to suffer because she is not living in her natural habitat.
Yes.
And here we are giving the message that we should be compassionate and we should have that love towards the animals, that we do not cage them. Our love shouldn't be expressed by caging them or by using them for our personal gains. She felt pain to see the suffering caused to the entrapped animals. In many ways, she was a crusader for freedom, empathy, and universal love. The dolphin reflects these sentiments of her. Though the poem only speaks of the deplorable condition of the dolphins who are forced to live in a pool to perform tricks in a circus, the theme actually goes beyond this. In a broader view, the dolphins are mere representatives of all such creatures receiving ill treatments in the hands of man. So here we can also see that not only dolphins but also the other animals which are being used for their flesh, for all the man has been blinded by the greed for money, and they have been exploiting the animal life and all the resources for this, which is not fair for the animals because every creature deserves a life free of pain and any kind of entrapment. The dolphin is sad as it is living a monotonous life in the same space. It is in sharp contrast to what the life was like when they were in the sea. The space is limited. A man is there constantly above them, guiding their movements and making them feel guilty. The moon has disappeared for them, not only literally, but also metaphorically. They can no longer see the moon as they are not in the open sea, and the cheerfulness of their free life has now turned gloomy. I think I can explain this by giving the example of what we are feeling right now because of the COVID crisis. We are caged in our houses. We cannot go out because of the disease, because of the pandemic. And maybe we can realize that how it feels to when you cannot be in your free space and you cannot go wherever you want and you cannot do whatever you want and everything has to be restricted. How it feels to feel all those restrictions which because of us the animals have been facing for a very long time just for the sake of our entertainment or for our material wealth.
Good.
Figures of speech. There are instances of half or slant rhyme within the text. These are words that line up due to similarities in vowel or consonant sounds. For example, flesh and blessed in lines 2 and 3 of the second stanza are connected due to assonance or the similarity in the short e sound.
Okay,
Alliteration is
Adya,
another.
Adya, I would interrupt you. So,
Yes, sir.
students, please see here. This assonance means repetition of vowel sounds. All right. Like here, alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. The good Adya brought up this point. The assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. Like flesh and blessed. In lines 2 and 3 of the second stanza are connected due to assonance or the similarity in the short E sound. It is not exactly E, it is A. The flesh, bless. So this is called assonance. Like we say hot pot, the O sound is repeated. That is called assonance. Is it clear? The repetition of consonant sounds is called alliteration and repetition of vowel sounds is called assonance. Good. Please continue.
Alliteration is another technique that pops up in dolphins. It occurs when words are used in succession or at least appear close together and begin with the same letter. A reader can see it happening with phrases such as silver skin or deep into dreams. The most important technique used by Duffy in dolphins is anthropomorphism. She used the dolphins as the speaker of the poem, giving their perspective on their own confinement.
Okay,
I
even
would
this I
say
had
that
not.
this technique
I
has
had not
helped
told you,
us.
student. 1 minute, Adya. 1 minute. This I had not told you, students. This you make note of. Anthropomorphism. All right. Dolphin as the speaker of the poem. She has given the dolphins a voice. An animal has been treated like a human being. An animal has been given a voice. All right. Animal is the speaker of the poem. So this is called anthropomorphism. All right. Make a note of it. Yes. Continue, Adya.
And I would say that this poem has made a bridge of communication between the dolphin and just not the dolphin, all the animals who have been entrapped for humans' personal gains. This poem has given a voice to all of them and helped us to see the pain and the anguish which the dolphin is suffering through. At the end of line 3 of the fourth stanza, own and stone rhyme. Additionally, the end words of lines 4 and 6 of the second stanza rhyme began and man. Form and language of the poem. The poem is simple and straightforward. The language, for most part, is plain, but the juxtaposition of simplicity and ambiguity at some places makes an impression on the reader. It is sometimes more suggestive than explicit. Lack of a rhyme scheme and the use of enjambment mark the poem. The poet uses cliches with a twist. Further,
Cliches.
she makes a use
Cliches.
cliches with yes with a twist. Further, she makes use of repetition to highlight the weariness of the dolphins. The poem is full of pathos. Confinement of dolphins evokes emotions in the minds of readers. Because here in the poem, all the words and sentences have a connotation. Every word and every sentence has a logic which gives us an emotion to feel. We can feel every line of the poem. We can feel the pain of the dolphin and the desire to live in a free world, to be free.
Okay.
Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." I unquote. This
Okay.
quotation also shows us that just because we are using the animals for our entertainment and for their flesh, ivory, and we might get the material wealth from it, but the moral progress of the nation is always going to be judged by the love and compassion the people have.
All right. So I would like to clap for Adya. That was a very nice presentation, a complete presentation in itself. Okay, there's one more.
All creatures are deserving of a life free from fear and pain. By Maura Cummings.
So that is Carol and Duffy.
Yes.
Yes. So all creatures deserve a life free from fear and pain. And that is the underlying message of the poem. So Adya has taken time and pains to make this presentation. So congratulations. It's a complete presentation, as I said. All right. And she explained most of the points very well. And there were some things which were novel, which even I did not explain while doing the poem. So you got many new points also, students. Okay. So kudos to Adya. Very well done. Congratulations. And I think this has been a great success, this flip teaching. So I think Srijan Suryansh also is ready. Can we have it quickly? Srijan Suryansh, are you ready?
Yes, Sabbar, just a minute.
Yes.
Carol and Duffy. The
That
dolphins
dolphin was a bit terrifying, my goodness. Okay.
can be seen not just as a plea to protect animal rights, but as a direct condemnation of keeping and training of dolphins for performance. The first stanza begins by creating a connection between the narrator and the reader, starting that the world is what you swim in or dance that is simple. Here the narrator speaks directly to the reader, establishing what a world is as the narrator understands it. It is the place to film or dance. The second line presents a paradox. We are in our element, but we are not free. People often think of dolphins as carefree, happy creatures based on their appearance and action as they seemingly frolic or jump high out of the water. However, the poem suggests that even though the dolphins are in water where they belong, the water that they inhabit is not their own. The rest of the stanza goes on to suggest that the dolphins in the situation are not even able to think for free themselves. The other movement forms my thought and also mine. There is a man and there are hopes. There is a constant flowing guilt. Life has been reduced to a series of direction and the conflict of guilt for both leading and following. If the dolphin is free, that other dolphin will not know what to do. But if it follows, it is basically helping to indoctrinate the other dolphin into the system of captivity. They teach one another how not to be free. For the dolphin in captivity, there is no truth in these waters. They are no longer blessed. Aside from their silver skin, which remind them of one another, the only color in the third stanza, the colored ball, we have to balance until the man disappears. Life is a series of instruction. The final stanza continues this sad perspective as the narrator states that there is no hope. We sink to the limits of the pulse until the whistle blows. There is a man, and our mind knows we will die here. From Duffy's perspective, poem in captivity is no longer alive. Rather, it represents the shadow of a life it once had, forever circling the same path in the water until the body has a death message. Here, Duffy is not really trying to prove herself an animal lover. Her sole purpose is to protest against the human cruelty towards animals and nature at large. That is why she presents the dolphin who are confined to a pool with the restricted movements to depict how we humans are treating other animals badly for our own entertainment or monetary purposes. She tries to make the readers feel bad for dolphins and make us understand that this kind of actions from man may eventually lead to destruction of nature and its ecosystem. That isn't going to be good for us at all. In short, the poem just wants us to feel the creatures and let them live in their natural habitat. Form of poem. The poem is simple and straightforward. The language for most part is plain, but the juxtaposition of simplicity and ambiguity at some places make an impression on the reader. It is sometimes more suggestive than explicit. Lack of rhyme, scheme, and the use of enjambment mark the poem. The poetess uses pleasure with a twist. Further, she makes us repetition to highlight the awareness of the dolphin.
Okay, one second, Srijan. See, this cliches means common expressions which we have been hearing for a long time. है ना? So those things have been used in the poem, but with a twist. And this
Yes,
enjambment also we have learned. Enjambment means the meaning is not completed in a single line; it spills over to the next line. So that has been used throughout the poem. So that has been highlighted by all the three, Devangsh, Adya, and as well as Srijan. So commendable job, Srijan. Anything left, Srijan?
no, sir.
Okay. The commendable job. Even in fact, Srijan was more comprehensive, I think, than the others in some of the aspects. So it is not easy to search for these things in such a short period of time. So very good. So I think it was a great success, and we'll have it later also. So through these things, you get more notes, and you consolidate your own knowledge also, and others also get benefited because you know exactly what to focus on. You know exactly what to focus on, and you can express yourself in many different ways, not just what the teacher tells you. right? Because that is very important in ISC. So flip teaching always helps sometimes, not all times, but sometimes it does help when the course is completed. The course is fully completed. In the revision classes, flip teaching does help sometimes. Others are also inspired. Even you can have your own interpretation on the particular piece. Especially in English, it does help. And because in English, it is always transfer of knowledge. The teacher teaching you something, and the student should also have the capability to, interpret and not exactly teach, but analyze the whole thing. Analyze the whole thing on his or her own. So that is something very important. So please, Devansh and Srijan also post on the group, for everybody's benefit. So in the next class, what I'll do is I'll have a quick revision of the Tempest Act 1, Scene 2. I've started already in section D, 11D. So you sit with your book and your workbook also. By the next class, you should purchase your workbook because tomorrow will be a holiday, tomorrow, day after, and the day after that. So please sit with your workbook and the Tempest book. I'll have a quick revision of Act 1, Scene 2, the most important passages. Okay, because Act 1, Scene 1 is easy, I think. So please revise Act 1, Scene 1 by yourself. Act 1, Scene 2, I'll be revising the important passages. Okay, and I'll take up the important questions from the workbook also. If any question is difficult for you to understand or answer, I'll take it up. Okay, but my advice would be in these holidays, you finish Act 1, Scene 1, Act 1, Scene 2 by yourself. And then the revision class will help. Okay, students, you can disconnect now. It's almost 2 periods now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.